Throughout the rest of our course for our 98-365 MTA Windows Server Fundamentals, we're going to be dealing with a domain. So let's kind of understand the structure of a domain and how the server fits into it all. So far we have a server, and it's just a server. In other words, it's a blank slate. It doesn't know what kind of server it is yet. It doesn't know if it's a domain controller, or if it's a print server, or a file server, or just what it is. But we're going to make it a domain controller, and we are going to create our first domain. So the first thing we'll have to do is add a role, and the role that we'll be adding is Active Directory Domain Services, because the domain structure is built on the Active Directory protocol. So we'll add that role. Once we add that role, then we will promote it to a domain controller. So it's not a domain controller yet once you put this role on, but we will do a promotion, and when we promote it, we'll give our domain a name, and then we will have a domain. And this will be really, this computer, this server establishes the presence of that domain. It, in effect, is that domain. We could, if we wanted to, and we're not going to do this in labs, but we will take a look at how this is structured, we could add more domain controllers and give those domain controllers subdomain names here. And then we would have a domain, and this is the root domain right here, and then these are just subdomains. So what we have now is something we call a tree, a root domain and some subdomains. It's also possible to add completely different domains. So here I have the widget LLC domain, and I've added the fobs.local domain to it. This now becomes a forest. It's still all one big Active Directory group. So this is still one unit, but now we call it a forest. And again, this domain is the root domain of that forest. It's because I created this first and then I added these to it. So that's my root domain in the forest. So that's a little about the structure of domains and how we'll be dealing with them.